So in this video, we're going to go over setting up a game of Point Blank. Now, for the most part, it's fairly self-explanatory when it comes to setting up the game. So selecting your scenario, determining who's playing what side, stuff like that is going to be easy to understand, something you've probably done many times before. However, when it does come to laying out the battlefield itself and deploying the units, there are a couple of key differences, so I wanted to point those out here in this video. So when it comes to laying out the battlefield itself, your scenario will tell you about any sectors or areas that are going to be involved, because it could be smaller than the full map itself, and it'll lay out any terrain and terrain objectives that are going to be on the map. So just as an example of what you could see when setting up a scenario, I've thrown out some terrain cards here, and the scenario itself will tell you what sector and area they're going to go in, and if you're going to have any objective cards, which you do see is a little different, like this town square located here. So deploying your units is going to be the last step in setting up your scenario. The instructions are going to determine where your forces are on the board and when they'll enter the board if they enter on later. So when deploying your units, it could end up looking something like this. And again, keep in mind, this is just an example for video purposes, but your units could look something like this. But you'll notice a couple of them do not have terrain cards underneath them. And in a situation like that, each unit must occupy a terrain card within a sector. So if they're assigned to a sector that has no terrain, you're going to take and draw from your terrain deck for terrain for each one of these units. So for our infantry squad here, we will draw and gain a cleared card we place underneath. And for our SS squad, we gain woods and we'll place that in their sector. And you're going to do that for each unit that is placed in a sector that does not have a terrain card. After this is complete, you simply draw your action cards, and then you're going to be ready to start your scenario.